Well, good morning. It is Tuesday, January 27th. I'm Will Puckett. Thanks for joining us here again on this Tuesday for Catch Up Quick. We're glad that you are with us. We hope you're warm on this very, very, very cold day here in East Tennessee. We're going to take a little while to jump into those cold temperatures. Also, some impacts from the winter weather that we saw over the weekend lingering on into this week, and then some of the assistance coming from East Tennessee and heading over to Middle and West Tennessee as many folks in the middle part of the state still unearth themselves and their friends and family out of snow and ice that has crippled the mid-state, specifically the Nashville area, also Memphis seeing some of those impacts. We talked about East Tennessee going out and helping Middle Tennessee. This is a video from the Tennessee Department of Transportation here in Knoxville in District 1. Mark Nagy sharing this with us. This is a video of crews out of Knoxville getting ready to head to the mid part of the state as they prepare to help them fight their ice and their snow that they're still seeing here multiple days after this winter weather event. More than 150,000 customers still in Nashville as of Tuesday morning, still without power. They're trying to work to get to everyone, but these freezing cold temperatures that we're seeing after this event still making it incredibly difficult and hard for crews to get to down power lines and all of that. Also, Nashville Electrical Service telling customers that if it was the part where the lines come into their house that was damaged, they're going to have to get private electric companies to come and deal with that, because Nashville Electric Service, and this is for a lot of electrical companies, will only worry about their infrastructure from the line all the way until it about reaches your house. Everything else is left up to you as the homeowner. But Nashville wasn't the only one to experience issues from this winter storm. East Tennessee also saw issues. This is video out of North Knox where a tree had actually fallen onto a home here in Knox County. The Knoxville Fire Department says this happened in North Knox County. A family was in the house at the time that this tree fell. Everyone was okay, but there were some tense moments when they had to save a 10-year-old from one of the rooms. All the people in the house are okay today, including two pets that were a part of this family in this home. Obviously, incredibly damaged, destroyed almost to the point where it's going to now involve the American Red Cross to make sure that this family has warm living arrangements to work through as insurance and everyone else revolving around this assesses what the damage looks like and if there is any way they can salvage this home or what is going to be the next steps for this family. We actually were able to catch up with neighbors who were home at the time that this all happened. They broke down what the moments of this tree falling were like for everyone involved.
I don't really know that I was able to feel anything. I was concerned, and the Lord totally looked out for them.
Mackenzie Dixon lives right next door to where a family's now destroyed home stands.
It sounded like an explosion. My husband and I ran over, and I asked my husband to call 911, and we were trying to assist in getting them out of the house.
On Saturday, Knoxville Fire Department got a call saying a tree fell on a house as a winter storm moved through Tennessee. Dixon says she and her husband jumped into action to help their neighbors. She wasn't the only one.
My daughter kept blowing my phone up, and I finally answered, and I said, "Mary, what do you want?" She said, "Mom, did that tree fall on your house?" I said, "Mary, I don't have a tree around my house." She said, "Mom, go outside."
Diane Latham walked down a few houses and saw what her daughter was talking about.
I got up there in the yard, and I said, "Oh, gosh, it's bad." I said, "Her little girl's in there." She said, "Mom, how bad is it?" I said, "Her house is gone." I said, "It's pretty bad."
KFD says 3 people were able to get outside of the home, but a 10-year-old girl was trapped. They were able to get the child out. Dixon says the family is okay in body, but she knows they are shaken up.
I'm sure there's a lot going on in their minds and with everything that they have going on.
Dixon and her church were able to donate clothes for the family, and Latham is going to give some to the family too.
Joined by First Alert meteorologist Belle Oliver now here as we are beginning to phase out of the First Alert weather day here on this Tuesday. Belle, we're still cold. We're going to give just above freezing, but the feels like temperatures are telling us a different story.
Yeah, that's the real kicker and why we had that First Alert weather day, especially this morning. You were here earlier than I was. I'm sure Sydney was tracking like negative feels like temperatures for
I want to say
us.
on the plateau in Crossville at one point, I think the feels like was just close to -10.
Yeah, that's about right.
So not warm by any stretch of the
No.
imagination.
And it's very cold out there. We're feeling like the single digits, 3 over there in Lansing, 5 here in Knoxville. So definitely a type of day to stay inside.
Yeah, stay inside, get any amount of hot coffee you can get or some hot chocolate or hot tea if that's your thing, or maybe set the Diet Coke outside of the fridge for just a little bit to let it warm up. But it's not going to be until a week from today where we see temperatures in the 40s.
Yeah, we're kind of just hanging out into the mid-30s for afternoon highs, which is ridiculous. I wish it was warmer. I looked it up earlier. We are 52 days away from spring.
52 days away from spring, no matter what this little furry rat-like thing might say in a couple of weeks. But relatively speaking, what's average for us this time of year? Where should we be?
We should be at the upper 40s or low 50s.
And
So
we're in the
we are just,
mid-30s.
we are well below average for this time in January. But yeah, I think we're all kind of wishing for some warmer weather.
I think everyone is praying for. I'm a cold weather guy, but if there's no snow on the ground, what's the whole point?
Yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. What are we looking at right here? I mean, this is relatively rare, an extreme cold warning.
Yeah, we have those warnings, especially for the plateau. Like you said, we saw some of those extreme wind chills this morning, and these are going to be set to expire at noon. And I want to make a point that even though they're expiring, it's still going to be cold today.
Yeah, it ain't warm.
Yeah, highs will be into the mid-30s by the afternoon, but it feels like temperatures are going to be into the 20s. So if you're trying to get outside, bundle up, I guess. That's the best advice I got for today.
Yeah, bundle up. Make sure that you have everything you need to stay warm. A hat on your head, even gloves possibly, a heavier jacket. I got my heavy suit on today is what I like to call it because it just keeps me just a touch bit warmer than any other things. What are we looking at as the week progresses though? I mean, obviously a little bit warm, but are we going to see sun? Because that's a lot of what people are hoping for too.
There will be some sunshine today, which is really good. Mostly clear conditions. We'll add a few more clouds probably tomorrow in the morning, which actually will help our morning lows about a bit. Clouds actually act as a blanket.
It can lock the hot air in, right?
Yep, they lock the heat in, so that's good for tomorrow morning. And then this weekend, there's potentially another cold blast coming Friday into Saturday.
We were talking this morning, and Cindy was like, I mean, it keeps on going down. We're like in the maybe mid to low 20s on Saturday.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah, I hope your heaters are working.
Yeah.
Before we get into this next video, I have to ask you, were you a person when you were in school, were you a out of school the whole day or a 2-hour delay person?
Like what I preferred?
Yeah.
Oh, I preferred being out all the way.
The whole day?
Yeah,
But then
the
you gotta
whole
make it
day.
up.
You
If you
make it
if you
up,
have a
but
2-hour delay, you get to
sleep in a little
yeah,
bit.
and
I
then you don't have to
guess.
make it up.
Yeah.
Still
You
all
ain't
right.
wrong. I think I'm still a full day though.
Still a full day? Well, there are a lot of kids waking up across East Tennessee with a full day off of school today. Knox County Schools made the call yesterday mid-afternoon or so. They simply said, Belle, that there are just too many bus routes that are still ice covered, especially in the far-reaching parts of the county. And that's for every county school, pretty much district in East Tennessee. They're saying in city proper, probably not that bad, but the further reaches you get out into the farthest parts of every county in East Tennessee, still a little bit dangerous for folks to get out and about. Also, could you imagine standing at the bus stop if you were in Cumberland
Absolutely
County today,
not.
-10?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we hated walking to our cars this morning.
Exactly. No, I'd hate to be outside.
Our assistant news director said that she left her coffee in her car today, and she just decided to brew one in the building because she didn't want to walk back up the hill and get her coffee out of her car.
I
Not to
respect
call
it.
you out, Emily, but that's just how cold it was. So you can imagine if we as adults don't want to walk to our cars and get stuff out of the building, imagine putting your kid at the bus stop. Last year, when we were in the midst of a handful of winter weather days, I actually got to talk with Superintendent of Knox County Schools, Dr. John Reiswick. He broke down what goes into making the call, whether or not to have school or whether to have an hour or 2-hour delay. Here's what he told me this time last year.
There's no financial benefit for us to be in or not. It really comes down to us about wanting to have instruction if we can. But again, the top priority being safety, to make sure that the kids are safe. And you know, we have a lot of student drivers out there too, and a lot of families. So that really, safety is the concern when it comes to that.
Again, Knox County Schools making the decisions, third largest school district in the state of Tennessee. That's why we focus on KCS so often. They said, look, just again, not comfortable with putting our kids out at the bus stop and also not comfortable sending our buses into some of the most far-reaching parts of the county. And so they decided not to have class today. Also, they'll be operating on a 2-hour delay. Knox County Schools will be tomorrow on Wednesday. They were supposed to have a half day of school. That is now into a full day, letting out in the afternoon at normal time, but starting 2 hours later. This is a look at all of the official school closings for today on this Tuesday. We have the entire list for you inside your WVLT News app. Also scrolling at the bottom of your screen, we have those available for you no matter what happens. That's why you want to tune into us in the morning. Again, you can get that inside of your WVLT News app. This is a look at all of the closings inside WVLT.tv and the aforementioned app. Not just schools though, Belle. You can find out if your community
center
Thank
work.
you, center.
Yep.
That's what I was looking for. Your community center is open. If your doctor's office is going to be open. Also, if you want to put your closings in here, just reach out to us here in the newsroom. We'll add your business, we'll add your company, your organization into here, and we'll give you a code so you can go in and say every time that you're closed or opening late, for whatever the reason, that's available inside there. As Belle and I come back on camera to give you just a little bit of a breakdown, you all also have the ability inside the weather app to customize videos and everything. You're joining us in the morning, so you're going to have to dip out here pretty quickly after the noon. But what can folks expect to find in the weather app, specifically talking about this cold snap?
Yeah, I'm probably going to push out something here in just a few minutes about the rest of the day and into tomorrow. But I also want to pay attention that we have started now, well, we did this before specifically for Knoxville, but we customize all the temperatures literally for everywhere, like on the Cumberland Plateau, southeastern Kentucky, the mountains. So we're touching the numbers and touching the forecasts. You know, a lot of the apps on your phone, it's just kind of computer generated and they don't know what they're talking about sometimes. So it's a good app to have, good tool to use. I look at it every
looking
day.
at so many models and so many formulas. I mean, you all took some incredible math classes I couldn't imagine sitting 1 minute in, that really is allowing you all to customize those and giving a real look at those temperatures, and is why it's so important that even if you don't live in East Tennessee, if you live in Middle Tennessee and you're watching us, or are into far eastern Kentucky, download WYMT's app or something like that. It's why it's so important to listen to your local meteorologist, because we know the topography, big word, and everything that goes into it. And so you're just, I mean, I was looking at your sheet earlier and she has like Euro, GFS, all that. Those are the models. And I'm like, how do you add this up? And so it's just, again, take advantage of your time, because you all use a lot of your time to do all that.
Yeah, we try our best. We're pushing through.
And you do a doggone good job of it. Belle's going to join Harry at noon on WVLT, and then Spencer will be in all afternoon starting at 3:30. But as always, right here on all of WVLT Plus, on all of our apps, all of our social media pages, give you all the information you can possibly get. A chilly look at downtown Knoxville and across the Tennessee into South Knox here on this Tuesday. Your news and weather continues again at noon on WVLT and all the time streaming on WVLT Plus.